Yeah, so we're all good. We're ready.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the Hella Dank podcast. My name is Jack Sattler. I'm your host. I'm here with my partner in crime, Maddie Malden, my co-host. We got a new guest today, Cassandra Nix-Wayne in the house, dude. Thank you for showing up, dude.
Yeah, I've been really excited to do this. I've been thinking about it all week, and yeah, I watch every episode that you do, and it's just really cool to be on.
Thank you. Yeah, friend of the show, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I appreciate you watching, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. Maddie, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm
to
fantastic.
Ready to rock and roll, dude. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Good shit. Yeah, no, we all kind of got in here the last minute, you know. But yeah, so we're here today because Cassie is a member of the Corvallis brass band, right?
Corvallis Community Band. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the name of it?
That's the name of it. That's just one of the groups that I'm in. And I'm willing to talk about a couple of the other ones too.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I also sub in for Hilltop Big Band, which is an extension of the Corvallis Community Band.
Okay.
So if somebody's out sick or is out traveling, then I'll fill in. So for example, the last month I filled in on the third trombone part, and then I actually got asked this Wednesday to fill in on the second trombone part.
What does that mean? Like different melodies, or?
It just is a different. So the Hilltop Big Band it's got 4 trombone parts. So first, second, third, fourth is usually like a bass trombone part, so like really low. Second and third are kind of supporting, those like middle voices. And then the first trombone is like usually a higher part, but then it all comes together to form a nice
What
harmony.
octave is harder to play on a trombone?
I think it depends on the person that you talk to, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a good trombone player, could be a bass trombone player, and that's like their specialty. Or they could, be really great at, jazz or funk or something like that. So it just really depends on your interest and just what you like. I would say that since I picked it back up, I've been really working on my higher range.
Okay.
Yeah, so trying to play those higher notes.
Is it a different size trombone for that? Like, if it's like a bass, is it a bigger one versus a higher pitch might be a smaller physical?
Bass trombones are larger. So it's larger than mine. Mine is a tenor trombone, which is the typical trombone that people start off with, when you're like in grade school or whatever. And it's kind of like a nice, rich, like middle tone.
Okay.
There's also like, soprano and, alto, but and they get smaller, right? And it starts to sound more like a trumpet almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it gives you that flexibility up in that higher range. But this is a good tenor range, and you can go pretty high up out the staff. And then you can also, my particular trombone has a trigger on it, and that allows me flexibility to play. Yes, there it is.
Oh, yeah, it's right there.
It allows me flexibility to play notes in alternate positions or lower in the range, but not as low as a true bass trombone can go, but it just gives some more range and flexibility.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
How, so starting with the Corvallis band, how many pieces is that? Like how many?
How many people are in it? I don't know the exact count, but it's a pretty healthy size.
I've seen a couple of your shows, and there are a pretty good amount of people.
Yeah, I would say during the regular concert season, like the winter and the spring, I would say we have at least 80 people. I would think. There's 6 trombones, and that includes myself. And then during the summer, there's some more flexibility there because like some high schoolers or like OSU students will come and play and just have fun and just fill in. So you can kind of see it get bigger during the summer.
That's cool.
What's really cool about the community band is that there's no like auditions required. Essentially, you have to be able to read music at a high school level on the particular instrument that you're going to be playing. I know there's a lot of people in the group that will be trying to learn a new instrument, right? So like say their primary is, alto saxophone, and then they want to learn tenor saxophone, right? Or bari. So then it gives them an opportunity to play some music and to get better at that instrument and yeah, it just gives them an opportunity to be better. So
that's
it's really
cool
cool
that you guys that the band does that. So it's just called the Corvallis band. What about the other ones that?
Yeah. So Hilltop, that one, like I said, is an extension of the Corvallis community band.
Okay.
And so it's kind of the same. And I think to become an actual member, you might need to, show off a little bit and audition.
You gotta be good.
Yeah. But I was kind of just vetted basically by the guy who is the leader of it. His name is Tom. He's a really great guy, super nice.
Shout out to Tom.
Yeah, shout out to Tom. Yeah. But basically I had met Tom when I was doing the show at the Majestic, My Fair Lady last spring. And so
that was a cool ass show.
Yeah, and I'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, I didn't make it to that one.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
But, we were just playing together. I was playing the first part. He was playing the second part. And, he just learned how I play and, my tone and, things like that and how I can sight read and things. And so I mentioned to him at the end of the show, I said, hey, if you ever need somebody to fill in, I can't commit to joining another group. But if you need somebody to fill in, just hit me up and I'll be happy to help. So that's basically what I've been doing for the past about year with Hilltop is just filling in when needed. So I don't do all the concerts.
Would you ever... Has there ever been a moment where you've decided, I'm kind of over playing for maybe not over it, but is there one you favor a little bit more than the other, or?
That's a really tough question.
Not to put you on the spot.
Well, I would just say that, each group that I'm in has a different focus.
Yeah, I imagine Hilltop might have more area or range in the songs they play or the pieces they play.
Yeah, so Hilltop being a big band, they'll do swing, jazz, Latin, funk. So there's a little bit more range there, where the Corvallis community band does more concert type pieces.
Right.
In the community band, we don't have strings; it's just wind instruments. So things like flutes and clarinets and saxophones and trumpets, trombones. There's a percussion section, oboe, things like that, bassoon. And so they're just more concert type pieces. There's also the symphony, but I'm not a member of that.
What's the difference between symphony music and concert type pieces?
Symphony, they focus a little bit on more classical type pieces and focus.
What does that mean?
like classical composers.
I don't know nothing, dude.
Just think I don't know. I think probably the thing that people identify most with, Mozart or stuff like that.
I think of Mozart when I think of
symphony, just
yeah.
more classical, and there's more flexibility there because they have strings, and strings don't require your mouth to play, right? I mean, it's taxing in their own way, but you can do a lot of different things with strings.
Concert band doesn't have string, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, now that you say that's crazy, dude.
So kind of back to your other question about what I prefer or what I like. I mean, each group that I'm in has a different focus, but I like things that challenge me, and that kind of segues into the other thing that I do with playing trombone is I play in the Majestic musicals. So the Majestic Theater downtown Corvallis. That's kind of by invitation. Basically, it's another vetting type of thing. People understand.
So they got to reach out to you.
Ability, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And
that's gangster, dog. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so there's really talented people in there, and all of these groups that I'm mentioning, this is all volunteer. People are just doing this as a hobby. Nobody gets paid for this.
Yeah.
They just enjoy it.
For the love of the game.
For the love.
Yeah. How do you make time? You know what I mean? Having a whole life, you got a husband, all that stuff, and somehow then you got to find time to practice.
Before we get, that's a good question, but before we get there, where did you get started with this?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, when did you, before we get there, yeah, we're getting too deep.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, when did you, not going from the very beginning, but just as far as the Corvallis band, when did that start?
Oh, well, I had an abbreviated, how I got started. So I started with how every kid gets started pretty much is public school, 5th grade. They brought in the high school jazz band and to like play for us. And then there's this cool dude who had like hair down to his butt, looked like a hippie. And he was playing the trombone. And I was like, what is that? Like, that is so cool.
Right.
And it looked so unique. And I remember this girl sitting next to me. She was really mean, but she had said, you can't play trombone. Your arms aren't long enough.
What the fuck?
I know. So anyways, then I was
Watch
just
this, bitch.
So then I was like, well, I want to try this. And then the local like music, store there in town, they brought in, loaner instruments. And then each kid, if you wanted to participate, got to try one. So my mom insisted that I had to try the flute because she was so desperate for me to be a girly girl. But I had no interest in that. And then I wanted to play the trombone. And then I did both. And then they're like, you're a natural at trombone. And then that's where it basically started.
So that was the beginning.
That was the beginning. In high school, I did, like concert band, jazz band, marching band. I also did it when I was in college. I took a break for about 10 years. I moved out to Oregon, did grad school. And then grad school is just really intense and really busy.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was that in?
I got, I started a PhD program, but I mastered out toxicology.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other conversation. Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyways, I picked it back up partially because, Jason was encouraging me to do it. But then also I was really struggling with stress and anxiety, and I needed a productive way to channel that energy. And playing an instrument really helped with that. So that's why I picked it back up. And then I had decided, hey, like they have a community band in Corvallis. I'm going to go ahead and like check them out. So I went to one of the summer concerts. I remember specifically, Jason was sitting with me. I was just like, ooh, trumpets need a little bit of work. But knowing now what it's like, then, I understand that people just kind of like float in and whatever. So
you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And then just that fall, I decided I was going to join and just showed up. And everybody was super welcoming at the community band, like in the section and stuff.
Was it really... just like entirely somebody telling you that your arms were too short, or like do brass instruments tickle your ear a certain way? Because most, in my opinion, or from what I've seen, is most young people gravitate towards stringed instruments because they sound more, I don't know.
Well, they're pleasing to the ear, you know? Yeah. I don't think it was the sound as much as the uniqueness. And basically. Because the trombone is not like any other instrument. There's no valves, right?
That's right. There is no valves, huh?
Yeah, it's so different. And I wanted to do something unique. And then, of course, that hippie guy like inspired me. So, that's how I knew I was a hippie. Like,
I was going to ask one of my questions is, in the time when you first started being like, okay, I want to try this, the inspiration was the hippie guy. Was once you kind of just like got into it and discovered what it was there like, I don't know, Mozart or some shit? Was there any other music, or you're just like, nah, I like this instrument, I just want to play it kind of shit?
Honestly, it was because I was decent and I was good at it, and it was just something that I like to do. And also, like, when you're in high school and stuff, there's that kind of like community. There's like, the band geeks, right?
Yeah.
So it felt like a family. Marching band was really fun. Got a lot of exercise doing that. It actually takes a lot of effort to do marching band, and I don't think people really understand that. It is pretty athletic because you're having to, stay in formation, and then you have to be playing your instrument, and you have to be playing it musically, and you have to be watching the drum major or the director, whatever it is. And so I think it's more complicated than people realize.
You're breathing. It's 110 outside. It's
and those uniforms are really hot. A lot of them are made of wool.
Yeah, and they're full.
And you're wearing a hat. Right? I mean, I would be sweating buckets.
Oh, God.
So it was good exercise. But anyway,
at least the beginning of football season must have sucked, but the end of it
was fine.
A little tolerable.
Exactly. It got colder. I just kept with it because I just enjoyed it. Honestly, it was just a hobby, and I was good at it. And I like to still think that I'm good because I'm being asked to, join these different groups and stuff.
Yeah, you really do get.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of inquiries.
Yeah.
For you to join in.
Yeah.
And even just watching you, man, like, you know, it's like your area of the, at least, you know, the 2 shows I've seen, you know, you guys are very full and you sound great. And, you know, so you do a great job. And, you know, that it takes passion, you know, to get to that point for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking. So you get into the band, and how long how many years ago was that when
Jason, was it 3 years ago? I think it was 3 years ago now, right?
Either 3 or 2.
Yeah. I think it's probably been
like
about
3
years.
So
Okay.
You forgot to mention the other group you're in, the trombone quartet.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Bones
yeah.
Appetit. Yeah, we've been taking a little bit of a break. Just people are busy. You know, Johan is traveling.
Johan.
Johan. Yeah, he's a bass trombone player. He's like,
Okay.
he's a cool dude. He's
Is
like,
he from here?
his like mom and stuff is, I think, from the Netherlands or whatever. So yeah, I think he is American, but like,
Well,
he's got
Taller
a.
than a tree.
I just wanted to know if maybe he had learned his way of playing trombone like differently from wherever, if he might have been from somewhere else.
I haven't really asked him, you know, about like when he started to play or anything, but
That's
I met him through the community band. And then Mark Terasawa, he's in the group as well, and he's actually the general manager of the co-op in town.
Oh, that's
No
cool.
shit.
Yeah.
Which one?
Both of them.
The Southtown one.
Yeah, he's in charge of like
Okay.
both of them. So
Shout out to Mark, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out.
No, Mark is so nice. He's a really great guy. And then Jim Martinez. And I would say that he's the one that has kind of, you know, scouted me out a little bit and has introduced me to things. Like he asked me to be in My Fair Lady, which was my first musical last spring at the Majestic. And so I would say that he was kind of like,
badass show.
yeah, I think he was kind of like a catalyst a little bit for me to be introduced to some of these other groups. So shout out to
Man,
Jim.
that's so cool, man. That's awesome. Like, you know, and like I won't get sidetracked with this, but it's like it's stuff like this that's in everybody's community that you have access to.
Yeah.
You know, if you just reach out and shit.
Yeah.
This might sound like a stupid question, but a quartet is four
people.
people. Okay.
Yes.
Just,
That
So
was
I
a stupid
mentioned-
question.
I know, but I just had to
Yeah,
double
so I
check.
mentioned the 3
I don't
guys and then there's
fucking
me.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, like stuff specific. It was at the White Side, right? Or
The
My Fair Lady. What?
the Majestic.
The Majestic. That's
Yes.
right. It's really cool to see the different kinds of arts coming together to create such a cool thing. Because I mean, you had a live band, and then you had the actors that can also that
Sing and
yeah.
dance and
Oh, it's like a play.
it's a musical.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And
I
then-
really recommend to anybody watching that's interested in that to get involved with the White Side or at least be interested in what they put on because it's really fucking cool.
White Side's pretty sick. That's
Yeah.
pretty dope.
Yeah. So also I just want to make sure that we shout out to the people who are doing the sound and the lights as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Those-
and all the set design and
Yep.
all the costumes and stuff.
God, that'd be such a fun
That
job.
stuff
That'd be so
doesn't
cool.
happen by itself. You know, it takes a whole army to make that happen. So
Right.
Yeah.
shout out to those people.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, those are bad motherfuckers, dude. Yeah, and it's like that goes to any theater around the country. You know, it's like, you know, go watch like a musical or something like that. Shit's out there, and it's pretty awesome to watch. But you know, it's not always having to be movies.
Yeah.
You know, and or like just seeing a band that isn't a band, but just like watching you guys is great. It's in town, it's free, and it's just something cool to do. And it makes you feel more tied. Like even if you're not a band member, you're tied with your community more. Just showing up.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. It gives people that creative outlet, and then also for those performing. But then it also, I think music and theater it just feeds your soul. You know, in a way, basically, not like a movie can, or sitting in a movie theater.
It's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You get the little hiccups,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is when like you have like good actors or that add their flair to it, and you notice it, and you know that they're doing it because like whatever the reason may be. It's cool to see versus someone who doesn't care or like that's something an AI movie couldn't do. You know, it's
There's no CGI, damn it.
right. Actually, oh damn it, never mind. I was supposed to light the memorial candle, but I forgot the lighter.
Jason, you got a lighter?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. So,
Useless.
history of the Corvallis community band. How long have they just been around?
So this year should be celebrating the 50th year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so for a very long time, Steve Mathis, he's now in the percussion section. He's retired as like the director of the community band. I don't know if he exactly started it, but he was the director for a very long time.
Wow.
And then it passed on to a couple of other folks. There's a little bit of a hiccup during COVID, which
Tell me more about that.
COVID.
There was drama.
No. I just think with the whole mask thing, and it
it's a little hard to play an instrument when your mouth is
But
covered.
remember when they were putting the mask on, would cut a hole and still play?
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude.
That's
there
real?
was bands doing that.
Oh
Well,
my
I mean,
God.
nobody knew what to do, like for real.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
But now we've got our artistic director is Cheryl Martinez.
She's awesome.
And she is incredible. Yeah, she is really growing the group musically. We spend a lot of time. The expectation in rehearsal is to make it as musical as possible, to do phrases, right? So there's like a 4-bar phrase and you grow with it, and then, you back off. You're listening within your section to make sure that you're not out of tune, right? That you're blending. And then beyond your section, you have to blend as a section with the entire band. So then one section just doesn't stand out. And it makes it obvious, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So then it's just one holistic sound.
Yeah.
And when you shape the music and when you play the dynamics and you do the phrasing and, you're doing all that together, it just makes a world of difference. And
it almost gives it emotion.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that
exactly.
kind of ties into, one of my questions was how important teamwork is in a band like that. Like, I imagine it's got everybody has to be on cue, right? Nobody can try to show off over another. Like, you guys are in this together. Can you hand me one of those too, Maddie, please?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
How important is teamwork?
It is incredibly important because, you're all individuals, but you're performing as individuals, but you're actually one unit.
Right.
So Cheryl is our leader, right? And she's giving us direction on how she wants things to, come out basically, I need a little bit more here from this
she's
section,
the director.
right? Yeah. And she's, when she's up there directing.
Some people don't know that. Sorry.
Yeah. When she's up there directing, right? Please tell me if I say something and it doesn't make sense, because I'm just definitely throwing out terms that
I
people
do
might
that
not.
on
Same,
the
that's
show
why I
all
was
the
like,
time.
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know
Yeah.
that.
But, she's essentially keeping time. She's keeping time, right?
Right.
And she's slowing us down or speeding us up, or, if she's doing smaller movements, she wants us to be quieter, or larger movements, right? We're louder, we're swelling as a band, and bringing that emotion. So Cheryl is really, she's directing us, and we're all individuals, we're responsible for our parts.
Mm-hmm.
But in concert band, trombone has a lot of supporting parts, I would say. So it's not, I guess, as challenging in terms of the rhythms or, the pitches or anything like that. It's just more of that supporting.
Right.
There are, of course,
It's
plenty of music out there where trombones have the lead, of course. But
That was my question.
yeah, trombones, they in a concert band setting do more supporting in jazz and swing and things
I do
like
have a
that.
question though.
Yeah.
When you do get a brass section solo, is it usually I know they highlight trumpet a lot because it does kind of have a higher range than a trombone does, but in what's the best way to ask this? Obviously, a trumpet solo is going to be a trumpet solo, but then the first instrument to fade in is what? Another brass?
Well, I mean, totally depends.
Okay.
Yeah. So solos, right? Just one person. Soli is a section that's playing together, right? That has the melody. And then, of course, there's a variety of other terms, but in terms of who would come in, to support that, it just depends on the piece.
Yeah, what
honestly.
they're trying to
entail.
to do. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's fair.
What's the next thought? Musical thought, right? We finish the solo, then what? Do we come in really loud? Do we, come in softly and build? Totally, just every single piece is totally different.
Are you pretty comfortable with just playing music, or have you ever tried to come up with your own stuff?
Oh, I am no
You don't
improviser.
just like riff or whatever?
No.
That's yeah.
No, I don't improvise at all. That's not, I mean, it's something I obviously can learn,
Yeah.
right? I didn't actually take music theory when I was in high school or anything. I stuck more with the sciences. I was one of those like nerdy kids who did like the AP English
This is the
and
way you
stuff
do
like
it,
that.
and there's
Same.
no other way to do it.
Yeah. But no, there's definitely a gift, you know, and a skill for improvisation. I just don't believe I have that, but I haven't really put a lot of effort into it. I just read the ink on the page and interpret what essentially
That's fair, dog.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you know, if you play for another 10, 15 years, maybe you'll get a wild hair up your ass one day.
A wild hair.
You never heard about that? You never
No, I have never heard that saying before.
You never heard that phrase? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know
Has
what?
anybody? Have you?
No, I have not.
Have you?
You guys
Didn't
haven't
think
heard
so.
that?
He just has a hairy ass.
No way, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, he just has a hair.
no.
Yeah.
A wild hair up your ass. Well, now you heard it here first.
Heard it here first, yeah.
But yeah, you know what? My point. You know, you might.
Yeah, what was your
maybe you'll
point?
try. You know, like improvising. But I get it too. If you just want to play music, that's fine.
Some pieces call for that though, too,
Yes,
right? like your own
especially-
improvisation.
Especially in Hilltop. Yes. There's almost every song has some sort of break where somebody can play a solo, whether it's written or improvised.
Do you think if a piece called for that and you were the one chosen to do that, would you step away from that challenge, or do you think that you would practice that and come up with your own, and do the best that you could?
I would write something. You know, I would listen to the music in the backgrounds, right, that
And
would
try to match
support
it,
it.
yeah.
And because I think my biggest fear is that I'm going to play a quote unquote wrong note, something that's like clashing with the background, what, you know, the bass and, you know, piano and stuff like that. And again, there's basically musical notation that's written in the music. I just don't know how to read that because I hadn't
crescendos
really
and
like
shit,
learned.
yeah.
Crescendo is more of increasing
Quite
volume.
loud, yeah.
Yes. But I'm talking about like these are the sets of notes that you can play essentially per bar that will, I guess, make it make sense. I don't know how else to describe it.
Music theory shit's complicated, man. That's yeah, because like you know, I try to practice guitar as much as I can, and you know, I understand the basic layout of, you know, where the notes go and shit. But it's just like, man, like there's someone like me, I never like through high school, like I was interested in music, but I just never got into it, you know.
Yeah.
But like now it's like I have a huge appreciation for it, and I'm trying to learn how to play guitar, and I'm like, holy shit, man, like I can understand why people who learn this in high school get really good at like your age, you know. My one buddy Kane, shout out if he's watching this, he's a drummer for this band, and he's a beast on it, but he's been playing since like 4th grade. I think even, you know, it just takes that skill to be that good, I guess. But yeah, it's complicated stuff, which kind of leads me to ask this question, like this like a small one. How do you read a conductor, like when they're waving the wand around? And like, I know it's like probably complicated, but it's like how do you know what
They give you timing.
Is that
right?
what that is?
So I think what you're trying to get at is time signatures.
Like when they're waving the wand around and doing that shit.
Yeah, so that is dependent on the time signature. And so on each piece of music, I actually have this here because I didn't know.
Love lock
Oh yeah,
screen.
yeah. We can.
Can we get a lock screen?
Yeah, let me see.
Show it to the camera right there.
I can hold it up to this.
Okay,
one.
yeah, I want to just open something up really quick.
Yeah.
I have
Yep.
to-
That's a sick tablet.
Gotta
by the
show
way,
the
dude.
lock screen. That's
Shout out
awesome.
to my husband Jason
Shout out
for
to
getting this
Jason,
for
dude.
me. Yeah,
Shit.
it's honestly changed my life. It's really great. Okay,
Also, it's like I don't know if you want
That's a sick stand. That's cool. I didn't know that's how those.
yeah. Where do you want me to
Hand
face
it to
this?
me.
Okay.
I promise I won't break it.
Oh,
and
I
I'll just hold
I
it up.
just went to the next.
That's an empty promise. I'm just kidding.
Look at this room, dog.
I gotta give you a hard time.
Okay.
You have it too good.
Okay, so all the way on the left-hand side,
That's a rest.
it says trombone 1, and then there's this like weird looking backward C, which is called a bass clef. That is the clef that I read as a trombone player. Then there's two little heart-looking things. Those are flats, so that tells me what key the music is in.
Oh.
And then the thing right next to that, those two numbers, 4/4, that means that there's 4 beats in a measure and that the quarter note has the beat.
Okay.
So that's the time signature. So when Cheryl's up there directing, she's directing in 4.
Okay.
Yes. So there's 4 beats in a measure.
Right.
Yes.
So I kind of understand that because
Yeah.
like in guitar, that's how that's all like the 4 beat.
What's that
bars or
big
what-
flat black bar? I've never seen that before on sheet music.
The big, yeah. Hold on, let me go back to that. Sorry. I'm so used to just. You mean this right here?
Yeah, what is that?
Okay, so those are rests.
Okay, that's
So I'm not
okay.
playing. I'm
Okay.
just counting rest. So that's 4 measures of rest here. This is 1 bar of rest. And then all of these are rest symbols. And then I actually come in and play here. Those are notes for me to play.
that
So-
right there is a whole note.
So your music might look different versus like the tuba player.
100%.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
So you're gonna. That's what I figured. I just didn't know if it was like you had the same music and you're just supposed to memorize where to play, or
Oh, no.
Yeah. But so like as far as like the conducting, it's just okay. I thought it was like
She's
they'd
keeping
wave
time.
the wand this way, and that means the trumpet players do the like. I don't know, dude.
well,
Like,
sure, that's fair, that's fair.
Yeah.
But she can cue a section or a person, right?
Yeah.
If somebody has a solo,
Oh, okay.
she would potentially gesture to them, right? You can start playing, but everybody is counting and keeping time. It's mathematical. So yeah,
Yeah, and that takes a lot of practice. I'm
I will
sure,
say
no
they
doubt.
have a lot going on, like directors
Mhm.
and how much what's coming next, and yeah, they are the lead of that band, right? I
That's
mean,
right.
you are constantly looking up at them to make sure
Yeah.
that you are on time.
yeah. If you're not watching, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, why don't you, man? If you want to put on the back wide shot, why don't you show us the anatomy of the instrument?
Yeah.
And just show us how it works.
Yeah.
Because I completely forgot trombones didn't have valves. I always think
I didn't know
thought
that.
they had valves and the slide.
I thought that you might
Yeah.
have like an octave valve, like a clarinet does. You can hit the back key, and it'll put you into a higher octave. I thought that had that.
No, when I play different octaves, it's all in what's called my embouchure, and I change the tightness essentially of my lips. So if I want to play a lower note, then I kind of go looser. And then if I want to play a higher note, then I tighten up.
Dude, you got to be tired by the end of the night. All that controlled breathing and like your face muscles. I
Yeah.
can't. Like that's a different kind of like facial exhaustion, That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is. It's endurance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times people only play, maybe for a half an hour to an hour.
Mhm.
You have to practice for sure.
Yeah.
And that's just like with anything, practice, makes almost perfect. You can never
True
be
that.
perfect.
True
But,
that.
Yeah.
but
True that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first is what's called a mouthpiece. Does this work?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
perfect. Yep.
So there are different types of mouthpieces. I have I would say, pretty standard size for a tenor trombone player. I play on a 6.5 AL. Do not ask me what that actually means. But basically, it's a moderate depth of the mouthpiece, and then it's a normal size bore. So
Bore
this,
being
like
the bottom part of the bell.
Yeah, the bottom part here.
Okay.
Yep. This mouthpiece, this is what my mouth actually goes on, right? And then it sits right inside of here. The next part right here is the slide. So that's what makes the trombone unique. And you move the slide to change pitch, basically.
Mm.
And so trombones, because they have size, they can do cool things like called glissandos or, little falls.
Woo!
Exactly.
Like what do they call
Yeah.
that? Like the
Yes.
whistle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a reed in those mouthpieces?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
That's what I was.
A
No,
reed
this
would
is-
be a woodwind.
Correct.
Okay. Like a
Correct.
saxophone.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Woodwinds are, saxophones, clarinets,
So it's just your
things like
lips
that.
making
This is a
that.
brass instrument. So yeah, this is just my lips. Basically, I buzz. It's like vibration, and that's what. Yep. Exactly.
Kinda.
Yeah. Exactly. Seriously. Yeah. So yeah, the slide allows you, then I move with my right hand, the slide.
Can you just do me a favor? I know you don't have to if you don't want to, but like without the trombone, just like, what does that look like? You know?
Basically, yeah. I think
this-
it makes more sense.
She doesn't want to.
Well, I can, but
Yeah, do it if you could. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll do it in the microphone, but this is good warm-ups for any brass player is to do buzzing. So
Oh,
So
I
that's
could
what-
never.
yeah. So that's my
couldn't.
lips buzzing and vibrating. And then of course when you actually play the trombone, it based on the amount of tubing and the construction, it gives you different pitches.
That's
If you ask
wild,
me,
dude.
that is so much more intricate than like say a woodwind or something. Like I understand when I played clarinet in like fucking middle school, you could tighten your grip on the woodwind to like hit higher notes easier,
Mhm.
but that's all in the keys or like add more air to it.
Mm-hmm.
That is all you.
Yeah,
You
that's
know, your pitch
crazy.
and stuff. That is so much more intricate than a woodwind or like a percussion.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a flute might be a little different, but I've never been able to get sound out of a flute. That is impressive to me.
So you had the slide.
Yep, the slide. And then this part is what's called the bell of the trombone. Kind of flares out, and this is where the sound actually comes out, is the bell portion. This, here, let me rotate it a little bit. Can you see this part right here?
Yeah,
Okay.
we got you.
So
It's nice and shiny.
yeah. So all of this extra tubing, this is what's called an F attachment on this trombone. This is what's called a closed wrap with all of the tubing kind of being like all together. They also have open wraps where the tubing isn't here, but it's basically like a double one of these.
So those are
Oh.
interchangeable.
No, it's just a different style,
Okay.
basically. Yeah.
Okay,
But mine's just, it's a closed wrap. This was just the one that when I was in high school, my parents, got me. There wasn't really a preference.
You've had that since high school?
Yes.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah. So then if I deploy this trigger, there's like it like closes off in a specific area and then it changes the tubing so then I can play notes in alternate positions or play lower notes. So again, this is what I was talking about in terms of giving me more range. I can go like lower or the flexibility to play in alternate positions. I feel like some people don't like understand the trombone when they write music and then they're just like, oh, I'm just gonna write like whatever I want, but it's like a workout when you're like going
You gotta
back
slide,
and forth.
press the button.
It's a lot of coordination, and so being able to play alternate positions, especially with the trigger, is really nice.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, so it's like 3 basic parts of the trombone.
So
And
that
so-
trigger allows you to go lower.
It can, lower or play alternate positions. So, like, if I play, for example, a concert C pitch, normally on a trombone, that's out in 6th position. I can play it with the trigger deployed and play it in 1st position.
That is confusing as shit.
Yeah.
I think it probably makes more sense if I actually play the
Yeah.
note, so then you can, like, hear it and then, like, see.
It's like without you having to extend so far, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, why
gotcha.
don't you
Yeah.
give us, we might change camera angles
Okay.
to do this, but
How I hold it is my left hand, my thumb goes on the trigger, and then my index finger goes in this ring. And then if I'm just holding it with one hand, my pinky's going to be on the bottom part of the slide. If I unlock the slide, then it'll come down.
okay.
Yeah. And then obviously my right hand is for moving the slide. So holding it up, I would hold it like this so it rests on my shoulder, my left shoulder. And then my mouth goes here. And then I would play.
Okay.
So mentioning like the trigger, so the alternate position. So if I was normally going to play a concert C pitch, I would play it out in 6th position, which is essentially the length of my arm.
Pick you up a little better.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna play a concert C pitch. So that's a C here. And then if I want to play it in the alternate position, I deploy this.
Oh shit.
Whoa, no way.
And if I don't deploy the trigger, then it's a concert B flat. So yeah, it just
That's a
gives me
crazy difference.
flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the next pitch up. Not the next chromatic pitch, but just the next pitch up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I can also play instead of going all the way out to 7th position, which is like way out here.
Dude, your fingertips.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
just like, what is that, like 6 feet?
So that's like a B natural, then I can play it with trigger 2.
How do you know what position you're in?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So all the way in is what's called first position. Second position is about this far out.
There's no markings on the bar.
Nope.
You gotta get good, dog.
Third position is about here, not quite out to the bell. Fourth position is just a little bit past the bell, at least on my horn. And then fifth is about here. Sixth is here. And seventh is all the way out. So there's 7 positions. And then the other thing is that, so they teach you as a kid, you know, each of the positions and generally where it's at. But as you get older and better, you have to listen because just because you're in second position doesn't mean it's in tune. Right. And
it might
the higher up you go in pitch, the more you have to adjust.
Is
in
there a
terms
way
of
to
bringing it in or out?
Tune it?
It's just by your ear or
they make tuners. So I have a tuner on my tablet.
Oh, duh. Like, yeah, okay. Sorry. That was stupid. No,
Yeah.
okay.
So usually in concert band, or just really any group, you tune to something, right? So one person or like a piano or the oboe or something like that. So you tune to that person, and so then the entire group is in tune as long as you make adjustments. And the way I would make an adjustment, so with the normal horn, it would be this. I would pull this up or down. And then for the trigger, I would pull this one up or down.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's how I adjust.
I was wondering. I was like, man, it looks
tubing to make it. And if it's really hot outside or really cold outside,
it'll expand and contract.
Yeah. So if it's really cold, your instrument will go flat, and if it's really hot, your instrument will be sharp. So you have to know the conditions that you're also playing in and make those adjustments. And it's really nice on trombone because you can literally just move your slide just a little bit, and you don't have to make like adjustments. You know,
can I move that and see how easy it is?
That's so fascinating, dude.
Wow.
You're just
this isn't as lubricated as
dude.
it
That
should
thing
be,
will
to be
fall
honest,
off if you.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's rad, dude. That's so cool.
So that one is just the beginning of, it's called Somewhere, and arranged by this guy named Alex Moraru. Sorry if I screwed that up. But anyways, it's from West Side Story.
Oh,
so Leonard Bernstein.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really popular musical. Some people call it the best musical of all time, but it's like the lament where it's saying somewhere, we'll be together, basically. It's like, Romeo and Juliet, but
it's interesting how just that little bit you played, there was a little touch of emotion in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Just that little section, that was cool that just a slide can be that effective.
Yeah. And the other thing is that, so you'd mentioned different octaves. So on the trombone, I can play numerous notes in first position, octaves of each other, and then all the notes in between. But it's all changing my embouchure.
Yeah,
so,
how tight you're pushing the air through your lips.
That's right, yeah. So, concert B flat, concert F, concert B flat, so this is the octave, concert D, concert F, and then I won't go any higher than that, but yeah, anyways.
It starts to get a little squeaky.
Yeah,
no, that's
exactly.
cool.
All right, I'm going to sit this down.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
You can get yourself adjusted. You're all right.
That was cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, man. That's awesome.
Wait.
Yeah, they're a pain.
I feel like there aren't many chances that you get to hear a trombone by itself.
Do you need some help, or do you got it?
I think we're good.
Okay,
yeah,
there
then we'll
you
put this
go.
back
A
down.
lot of the time it's accompanied, so it's really cool to
Yeah.
finally hear a trombone by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like it's and this might just be me because I don't really know a lot, but you always think of trumpets and tubas and shit, or saxophones and but yeah, like you were saying earlier, it's kind of like the backbone in a way where Jason's like, I can't let you do this.
Thank you.
Shout out to
appreciate you.
Jason, dude. Husband of the year right here. But yeah, it's just really fascinating. Like, but you can and now what you're talking about teamwork earlier, you can tell like how that would fill in its place in a band. It's really cool. Yeah. Some problems you faced, or like were you having like you couldn't learn like a certain song, like what were, or did you have challenges? Like whether it was the Corvallis band or just joining them or Hilltop. Did you ever have any of those?
Joining? No. We kind of covered that earlier about how the community band, the only requirement is to essentially know how to read music at a high school level.
Okay.
And then you just literally show up, and then people are really chill and they're really welcoming. The Hilltop, or I did this one called Big Band Majestique. We did it over Christmas basically, and it was a fundraiser for the Majestic to raise funds for like family and children and everything to get involved in the arts. It like reduces the barrier, for people to get involved. So it was a big fundraiser. And then we played the jazzy version of the Nutcracker. It was like Duke Ellington and Billy Strayhorn's like version. So it was challenging in that sense because they're great musicians.
Jazz is always hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the challenge, I would say the joining is not a big deal. The music itself can be challenging. I would say the most challenging thing that I do is the musicals, because it's all about timing, right? A lot of the time we're down in the pit. So all of the action is happening above our heads and we're not seeing it. There's a little monitor down there in the pit underneath the stage.
Yeah.
So we can kind of see what's going on.
But not
here,
really.
but not really.
Yeah.
So because we're reading our music and we're watching the director who's sitting basically up here, and then there's things called vamps where you just repeat and repeat until there's somebody says something on stage or somebody does something on stage, and then you move on. So you have to be watching. There's like, for example, I'm doing Legally Blonde in the spring.
Okay.
That's the next musical at the Majestic. I just got my music a couple of days ago, and it's almost rude because there's only one trombone part. I'm it, but it's written partially in tenor clef, so it's like really high stuff. It's written for bass trombone as well, and then of course just like tenor trombone. So just within a few measures, I could be way up in the stratosphere, then have to go all the way down. So that's challenging in range, and then the rhythms are pretty difficult sometimes, especially jazz. I would say the rhythms are in the interpretation, because you're doing swing ace, right? So then the lengths of the notes are different, and it's interpreted differently than you would in a concert band. So you have to kind of change your thinking about how you read the music.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That like just they're like, oh, we're gonna do this song this month or whatever. Would be, especially if you don't know it, like just in your head or whatever, it'd be pretty confusing.
Yeah.
What was your first song that like you played for maybe not musical, but like just for the band? Like, let's say what was the first song you played for the Corvallis band?
So I think the first concert was actually the children's concert. So every year the community band goes to OSU in one of the auditoriums. I can't remember which one it is, but anyways, one of the auditoriums, and then they bus in all of these like 4th, 5th graders, somewhere around that age, and then we play the background music for the video that they're watching, and it's like a history of Oregon, basically.
That's
yeah,
rad.
super cool. Actually,
so there's a lot of little things in there, but actually the piece that I brought up, it's. It's like da 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 da.
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
So like
Star Wars shit.
That's actually probably the first piece I performed with the community band, because that's like, I think the opening. Well, there's some marches. Actually, I lied. Some marches. But anyways, that's the children's concert was the first thing, and that's an annual thing we do for the kids. So.
I had a question just within like the workings of the band itself. When you join the band, do they like say you're struggling with a part? Do you go to like your section leader and ask them for help with your specific whatever you're struggling with? Or can the director help you in that way? Like, I understand you can audition or you just volunteer. You go through play test or something? Or
Not
okay.
even. Not the community band. No.
Okay, but Hilltop or Hillsong.
Hilltop is
Hilltop.
more. I think if you actually wanted to join the group, they would do like more of an audition, but I don't know for sure. I was just, like I said, I've just kind of recruited when I'm needed. So,
but if somebody wanted to join the Corvallis community band, and they felt maybe they could reach out to the other people and be like, "Hey, I'm struggling. Can you help me?"
Absolutely.
It's
Totally
I'm sure there's got to be
arms.
plenty of resources. For
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, I know that you can do that. You can reach out to your section leader. One thing that really helps me when I'm struggling to understand how something's phrased or a rhythm is I actually try to find a recording on YouTube and I listen to that, because then you can hear the style, you can hear, just everything about it, and then really understand what the intent of the music is supposed to do in that area. So that really helps me. I learn a lot by hearing it. So I'm sure Jason's tired of hearing it, but every musical I will listen to the original like Broadway recording of that musical, so I understand what the original intent of that song was, or that section. So then I can be a better player if I can't figure something out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to practice on your own in a vacuum, because especially things like jazz, because a lot of the trombone stuff, it'll be like the oompas or, something like that, where it's like a fill-in, like oompa, 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 something like that.
Yeah. You're like,
You're kind of the
fill-in.
fill-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of the fill-in, and you're filling those gaps, but it's not the melody, right? You're just the support. So sometimes it's hard to practice on your own. People really benefit from sectionals, just playing within your own section.
Yes.
But yeah, for me, listening to something really cements it in my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like, even, I know it's like a goofy example, but if I'm like trying to, I like to sing songs in my car or whatever, mostly rap. I
Everybody
love rap,
does.
but like if I know, like if I want to get this one part right in a song where I want to nail it, where I feel good about it, like, you listen to it a bunch of times over to just, lock it in.
You learn that shit.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to nail this part. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That one verse that's super fast. Yeah.
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 That's cool.
So once you like got into like, well, I guess you started performing like with the band, but like what were like some lessons you learned, like maybe about life or just people, like, just performing with a group, like what is that taught you? Yeah,
I would say in terms of the people, everybody that I've interacted with so far has just been so nice. And there's a lot of, I would say, mentorship that's going on. Yeah.
That's rad. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So people are willing to give you a chance, to allow you to grow as a musician. So I think that's really important to have that support. And a lot of these folks, they'll be retired school music teachers, they are in multiple bands. Like, for example, I mentioned Jim Martinez earlier. He directs a lot of the Majestic musicals. He's in symphony. He's in this quartet with me. He'll fill in the community band. I know he's done Hilltop. He plays up in Salem. So he does, and plays in the pit also at the Majestic when he's not directing it. So these people have
Sounds
lot.
like a busy guy.
He is. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
But anyways, that just goes to say that they want to share that knowledge, right? And share that passion and make space for other people and know when to kind of, give somebody else an opportunity and not just be in the limelight, the entire time. Because he's a great player, but, it's just giving somebody else an opportunity. So I would say that that's something that has been great about the people. And then, because you said like lessons learned.
Yeah.
I would just say that
just about anything,
I would just say that just growing as a player myself. For example, I had never been exposed to tenor clef. I've always been just a trombone purist. Just that's the only instrument I play, and I just read bass clef music. Well, tenor clef, I don't know anything about it. I had never been exposed to it, but then I was kind of put on the spot, and it was uncomfortable. But then I was just like, nope. I got to work hard. I got to figure this out. And I got to learn from this, and it just made me want to be better. So
adversity is good, to be better, it's healthy and, you'll learn more, but it's just good for you.
Yeah,
for sure. If what kind of if anybody was wanting to, might know an instrument or maybe is thinking about something, maybe even I don't know about starting a band, but what kind of advice would you give somebody, just any, to do something like this?
Yeah, I would say so. Music in particular is a lifelong hobby. This is something that you can do at any age, right? So it's never too late to pick your instrument back up. Or, like I said, I had a basically 10-year hiatus and I picked it back up and now I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff. So there's opportunity out there for sure. So I would just say, just put yourself out there. The community band, like I said, everybody was so welcoming and it's just really a space for growth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. And I feel like now, like, in today's age, that's what more people need is like community and just like get out, whether even if it's not like playing it like in a band or something, just going out and doing something with other people as a group and getting to know your neighbors and stuff is really important now. There's not enough of it. And but like when I meet people like you or whatever, when I see it, I'm like, that is so cool. I wish like more people could have that, and so I think that's really important that communities have that. And like we kind of said at the beginning of the show, is like you just gotta get after it or whatever if you want to do it.
Yeah,
I will say a lot of the people that I have told when I go to your concert, or when I have gone to your concerts, I just went to the Corvallis
community
concert,
band,
they don't even realize that that's a thing.
It's available for them to enjoy.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I always try to tell whoever, like, hey, this is really cool.
Yeah, all of those summer concerts are sponsored, by different people or businesses or whatever because, they value, music and they want to make it accessible for people. So all of our concerts are free. Even the Hilltop ones, it's an extension of the community band as well. Those are free. So in the wintertime, we're doing them at Old World Deli every Friday. The next one is actually March 6th. Yep. It starts at 7:30. Yeah. So you can just get a, bite to eat, something to drink.
Dude, the
and
Orville Deli has such good food.
Yeah. And just enjoy the music, And then, the community band concerts are at Ashbrook, which is over on
that's
Research
a cool
Way.
venue. They have a really cool
That's like off Madison?
It's off Research Way in Southwest Corvallis.
Yes. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
By like Technology Loop.
Yeah.
Do you guys put out a schedule of when you play, or is that like a
Facebook page?
I know you guys do summer concerts in the city park, so
Yep. All of the events are posted. The community band has a Facebook page, and then they also just have a website, so they should be updating it. We have a whole board of people who do all the music organizing or do the editing of the music, so that it can be posted to YouTube and whatever. So I'm pretty sure that there's somebody who's updating the dates for the concerts.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Online.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll follow that.
Yeah.
I had there was one question that I meant to ask at the beginning, but do you guys do benefit shows, or is that like a thing that you guys do? Like you said that you had businesses or whatever sponsor it. Is it I don't know, benefits for veterans or homeless? Is that something you guys do? Or
so not the community band in particular. We do the children's concert. It's like an educational type thing, but it's not like a benefit raising money in that sense.
I didn't think. I just wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know if that's what they do, but I figured I'd ask.
The big band Majestic that I mentioned that did the benefit for the Majestic. That raised money, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that was a big fundraiser. I think they raised over $20,000.
Good for them, dude.
Cool.
Yeah, good
super
for them.
cool. Yeah. And then I think we're in the works of planning another one out at a winery. And I don't think I can share a ton of details, but basically it would happen in the fall, and it's going to be another benefit for the Majestic Theater. So there's just piecing all that together right now. And
I think keeping the Majestic open is super important.
Oh, yeah.
They are a really cool venue.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty cool place too. I like the Majestic, and it's in such a fun part of town. Too.
Yeah, Dark Side, the White Side, and the Majestic are all
very
very cool
rad
places in downtown Corvallis.
Yeah. Well, shit. Do you have
Me?
Yeah, do you have anything to
Oh,
add?
you didn't ask me about the history of the trombone. I have
Yes.
to tell you the funny
Oh
name.
yeah, yes. Thank you. Yeah, we're not ending yet. I just yeah, go ahead. Start off. Yeah.
So yeah, the trombone didn't always used to be the trombone. Basically, it was in the Renaissance, like I think the 14th or 15th century, something like that. And it was originally called. Are you ready for it? A
I don't know.
sack butt.
And you chose to play that?
Well,
I got good at the sack butt, dude. That's hilarious.
So it still had the slide, but the bell was a little bit more like cone shaped. It wasn't like as flared, basically. And it was developed because they just wanted some more options and different sound than a trumpet or like a bugle or whatever,
Yeah.
something with more rich sound. So the sack butt.
The sack butt, dude. You should type that in like when that was a thing.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I told Jack this morning because he asked
Don't
me about
look
the
it up.
history, and I was like, "Don't Google it."
It took me a lot. I was like, no, I'll wait.
A Renaissance.
Yeah.
Baroque era brass instrument considered the direct predecessor to the modern trombone, developed in the mid 15th century. We learned all that.
It
stuff
is a
already.
trombone.
Yeah, it's
Basically,
yeah. That is it is an interesting shape though. Like I
yeah.
can,
Scroll down a little bit because I think.
or go to images maybe.
Yeah.
Scroll up. Yeah, images.
There you go.
Oh, it's very.
It's small.
Yes.
No, no shit.
Much smaller.
So with the bell being as small as that, it probably didn't project quite as well.
Look how
Probably
long that
not.
slide is, though.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like freaking 8 feet.
Introducing the sack butt. It's a very simplified version.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool that they were able to think of that in the 15th century.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just want to see the picture.
Sack,
I mean,
but-
yeah, it doesn't have as much tube, so I imagine, yeah, it probably was. It didn't project as well. It probably didn't create such a deep sound.
Mm-hmm.
It probably would. Like just looking at it, I would imagine like a bright.
So I have a
noise,
question,
like-
Cassie.
Yeah.
What? So I understand the tubing allows you to control your pitch.
Yeah. When you move the slide.
So on the sack butt, you see that it has a slide and stuff.
Yeah.
But even with that slide the way it is, I mean, I imagine that didn't have as much control as something as modern as your trombone.
Well, there's no F thing that you're. The F,
Well, yeah, there's no attachment. Like my F attachment, that's like an extra thing. A normal tenor trombone, it does look a little bit more like that.
Okay.
Look that
Yes.
up real quick.
Yeah,
just
just
like
like tenor
a
trombone.
classic tenor
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pull that up, Jamie.
But as she also showed, a lot of the sound is just
A classic tenor. Okay, yeah. Traditional
Yeah,
versatile
there you go.
sound. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
it's very
pretty
basic.
Yes.
basic.
Yep.
But yeah, it has a more flared out.
Oh, that one has keys.
Whoa, what the?
Yeah, there is
Cassie?
one that has keys, but we don't talk about that.
You know what I'm talking
we,
about?
we also don't talk about the P-bone.
That
what is
seems
that?
like a mutant.
It's a plastic trombone.
Oh.
They can come in a whole bunch of different colors, and it's like, it's cheap and it's like good for, kids or whatever. So
Practicing.
then they're not throwing around a brass and denting it and like whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
God, brass instruments are so beautiful.
Yes,
like
they
that's what
are.
I always loved about them. They're so cool.
I think any instrument is. a
I tried
beautiful
learning
thing.
how to play the sax when I was like that. Like when I was in middle school, my thing was the sax. I never got good at it, but I just loved the way I loved all the valves and all that stuff on. I just loved physically messing
You
with
played
it.
the saxophone?
I never got good. I had one. I tried playing it. I was never good. Like
You just didn't try hard enough.
I didn't try hard enough. But also, like I said before, I wasn't like really into music like that. I was like, oh, I just had we had a saxophone.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just nothing came.
That's
of it.
cool that you at least tried.
Yeah, I just like the physical mechanics of the stuff on
They're
it.
cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you probably understand. Like, you press one key and it's gonna press down six
Like
other
4
pads.
of them.
Yeah.
It's crazy the craftsmanship that they put. Like
yeah.
I actually just watched a video the other day about how they're made, and it's really quite. Even like the
Intricate.
cheap ones are very like. There's no machine to really. I mean, there kind of is, but not really.
You know, Cassie, I picked up my clarinet the other day, and
Oh, shit,
I was
dude.
trying
I
to play
see
the
you
higher
do.
octaves, but it's like one of the pads isn't closing, so it won't let me play the higher maybe you know something.
It probably
about
just needs some maintenance because it's like,
You gotta play it up.
it might need like lubrication or new pads or, maybe something's bent a little bit and it just needs to be put back into place. So
I used to have wax paper that you can clean. Maybe I should get some.
Yeah. But I mean, I think probably reed instruments with all the pads and, all the things, they probably need a little bit more maintenance than a trombone. I almost never take it in to get, anything done on it.
Yeah, there's so many fucking keys on that goddamn thing.
I think when I had pulled it back out and I had decided I was going to start playing again, I gave it a bath, cleaned it up, whatever. But then I took it into Beacox.
How do you clean that?
You literally put it in a bathtub with like Dawn dish soap.
You don't like pull a thing through it?
Yeah,
like a paintball cleaner.
A snake. Yeah, hold on, let me grab it. Yeah. So.
Oh, it has a snake? No way.
Yeah, well, no, not.
No, you
with
like
it.
pull a thing through
But,
it.
Yeah, if I was gonna take it all apart,
Oh,
that comes apart. This comes off, right?
Yep.
So you would do those
Snake 'em.
pieces separately. Yep, and snake them. Put this back in.
I wonder, it's like that thing that
Girl, be careful.
Yeah.
in
And
boot
then-
camp they teach you
Snake that. Okay. Okay, so you
Oh,
can't
what?
like do each individual part. Okay, cool.
That's
so anyways,
rad.
that's all the parts that come off. And then, you just have whatever, there's lubricant for this. It's the same lubricant for this.
Yep.
But then there's lubricant for this. And then there's a couple of different lubricants for the slides.
Yeah, I opened my case and I had like a little lube chapstick
Yeah.
type thing for the corks on it. And I was like, oh my gosh, how do I remember? Like,
Yeah.
you open it up and everything comes rushing back to you.
Yep.
I remember in band class, we all had to take band. I picked the trumpet just to fuck around with, whatever. But it was always like you had a little bottle of like lube or whatever the hell it was. And our teacher would be like, all right, you got to give like, a little dab on each of the valves and work them a little bit. And I always thought that was cool.
Yeah. I think maybe the last thing that I specifically wanted to probably bring up was
yes.
was I brought a selection of mutes.
Oh,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
what it was. It slipped my mind. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
the mutes. So there's a variety. Mutes basically just modify the sound, right, of your trombone. And depending on what mute you put in, it gives out a different sound.
Will you please pull those up and
Yes,
show
I
us?
will.
Yeah. yeah.
Because they look so different. They're
That one looks
insane.
like a plunger.
I
It's a
mean,
plunger.
It is the plunger.
no way.
That's the easy one to do that.
Oh, you got a shit ton.
Yes.
Well, so with the plunger though, they can like move it easily. with
Right,
the
you
plunger.
grab, you hold it. Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit.
So this one is probably the most common one. It's called a straight mute. And then I can just play like one note with each one of these in it so you can hear the difference.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Straight
please.
mute.
Yeah.
This one is called a cup mute. So you can see that it's got kind of like a flare to it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. So just again, a different sound. I would say cup mutes are really popular in jazz. I've
It's
also
interesting
used
that
the
they
straight and the cup for my shows at the Majestic as well.
different corks on them too to help plug it.
Yeah.
This part sits inside of the
Create
bell,
gaps.
Yeah.
so then it doesn't fall out.
Ah, that's what that's for. Okay.
Mhm.
So it's not adhering
No.
airflow. It's just
Well, it is changing it a little
it a
bit.
bit,
Yeah. Yeah. And then this one has not been in a toilet.
That is great, dude. That is.
I
So,
bought this when I was like, in high school, and of course, green is my favorite color.
that
so now I was
plunger
like,
been around, dog.
But the plunger just gives a wah wah sound. So again,
Right.
really popular in jazz.
Wah wah.
How do you?
Yeah.
I feel like you don't have enough hands. You know what I mean? Like you got to do
Well,
the
your
slide,
shoulder,
and then
I
you're
imagine.
also,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's how you have to do it.
Scary.
Yeah. And then this one is really cool. This one's a solo tone mute. So this gives it a sound like, think of like how jazz was in like the 40s and the 50s,
Yeah,
the 30s and
right.
40s or whatever. So it kind of gives it that interesting sound. And this one, it's a funny story. So
That thing looks
Crazy
cool.
looking.
this is what's called a bucket mute. This literally just kind of like fluff in here.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I was like, oh, I need a bucket mute for like this one song or whatever. And we borrow mutes as, musicians, whatever. But I was like, oh, I'll just get my own, And so
Why not? Yeah.
I went to Beacox in Albany and I had said, oh, hey, like I need a bucket mute for a trombone. And they're like, oh, we don't have it on the shelf, but we'll order it for you. No problem. So I said, go ahead, order it, whatever. I come back in and I should have asked him how much it cost.
Oh.
This is $100 mute.
Oh.
Because it's aluminum?
Well, it's stainless, right? I think that's stainless. Or
That's aluminum.
no,
It's
aluminum.
That's
It's
aluminum.
aluminum,
Yeah.
but
Once he tapped it,
I just
like,
think, just the general construction of it. And
Right.
it's a specialized, it's not the most common mute for a trombone, but this is also used in like jazz. That's where I've used it.
Why did you go all the way to Albany? I mean, all the way to Albany. But
Oh.
You have Bullfrog.
Wasn't there the Windsmith place here in
They
town?
closed down.
They closed, yeah.
Yeah, the music stores in Corvallis, while they're great, they don't have a huge selection of things for brass players.
Mhm.
They're like string oriented, right?
Or guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, they just didn't have the things I was specifically looking for, and I knew I could get it from Beacox.
Yes.
So I just went over to Albany.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, they have
Shout
a
out.
couple of locations.
Shout out Beacox, dude.
Yeah, no, they're great. And then that's where I had also taken my trombone to get, just it touched up and repaired a little bit.
When you got that thing, did your parents buy it for you new? Because I always see these old brass instruments, and you always see the wear, where the coating comes off, and some of them are down to where it's the brass is turning green because they're so used.
Yeah, you'll see on mine the lacquer is rubbing off
the
where
lacquer.
my hands.
That's what it is.
Where my hands are at, just the
Right.
natural oils. Yeah, it just degrades over time, and so I could get it retouched. It
that
doesn't
adds
really matter.
character, though. I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
that's your time that you spent on that. I feel
played
like.
the shit out of
But
this.
it's I see some
Yeah.
of those where the whole thing, the lacquer is gone and they're very old. And so
Yeah.
I just, I always wonder, how old is the actual instrument looking at that?
Yeah, so my parents probably got that for me maybe 2007, 2008. Something.
Damn.
Do you ever
in
plan
there.
on upgrading?
She
Is
has
there an
two.
upgrade to go for?
So there are different levels. There's kind of your basic trombone. This is what's called an intermediate level. Then you have professional trombones that people play in orchestras and things
Is
the
that when
serious players.
The keys come
What's
in?
the difference, though?
Just quality of sound, craftsmanship, those types of things.
I wonder
Yeah.
if there's different grades of brass that sound
Probably.
different or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know all the science in that, to be honest with you. I just know that
Yeah.
this isn't what's considered an intermediate
Yes.
trombone.
Right.
So it's a step up basically.
Right.
So yeah,
That's
I'm
cool.
pretty sure when my parents got it, it was probably $1,500.
Damn.
Yeah.
Isn't that you have a nicer one though, right?
No, this is my nicer one. I have another one that I started out with when I was in 5th grade, and I used that as my marching band trombone because
You were in marching band in 5th fucking
No.
grade?
I mean, I used it for marching band. No, I used it for marching band
Gotcha.
just because it could withstand some of the elements. I don't really want to have this out in the rain. Not like it's really going to ruin it, but it's
Yes.
just a nicer instrument.
Right. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you give us
wanna hear these?
let's check
Please.
it out.
All right.
I'm down for it.
All right.
Attacking her with questions. Sorry, Cassie.
No, this is great. You guys are-
Oh, no.
It sounds like it's in a can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds like
That's
that
cool.
that old radio.
Wait, I'm going to
tinny
do the
sound.
plunger one next because that one is.
I love
really
the
cool.
plunger already. I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of the plunger.
That's crazy.
That's cool, dude. Fuck yeah.
Can you do me a favor? Yeah. And just play
Do
a
me a
singular,
favor.
whole note and whoo, That's
That's-
cool, bro.
that's so
Holy
cool.
shit.
Yeah, so if you were moving, it's just you're literally.
There's a lot of
using the slide
variation
and-
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes coordination. Yeah. Okay, this one's the really cool one. I like this one a lot.
Say best
This
for
is-
last.
1940.
This is the. Oh wait, before and after solotone. So.
What
the
fuck?
Like,
No.
Fuck?
Wait. Show what?
That makes
yeah.
it so flat.
Yeah. That's sick.
That was sick, dude.
That's cool.
That makes it sound very old timey.
Yeah. That's
The best way to put it.
that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, I had to demo the mutes. So.
No, thank you for that.
The plunger and what's that last one called?
Solotone.
The solo tone is my favorite.
Yeah. The
I love
plunger's
that.
pretty sick.
If you could play me a song in the solo tone just all the time, I would love that.
That's awesome.
So maybe.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
the solo tone one, was there a specific piece that you guys had to play where that was required, or did you just end up acquiring that?
Yeah,
Just-
there was a piece where Jim Martinez had suggested
Shout out, Jim.
that I try it, and I borrowed his. And I was like in love with that mute. And I was like,
It's
okay,
cool.
So I'll have to, maybe what I'll do is I'll find that piece and I'll just play that little solo bit for
That'd be
like the
cool.
entrance.
Yes, please.
yes,
yes,
that'd be
yes.
great.
I think that would be cool.
Do you have like an Instagram page, or is there like, I know we already asked about the Facebook page for people to that you know of, or just
To be honest, I don't do Instagram.
or like any
Yeah.
sort of social media or anything just for your music, or no?
I don't do any social
Okay.
media stuff. I literally show up, play in real time, and then I'm good.
That's
I
fair.
think,
Yeah.
I know that
It's cooler
people
that way.
record us. Yeah. I know that people record us and post it on YouTube. So that would be the only social that
Gotcha.
I know for sure. Does the band have an Instagram? Maybe, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
word. I just didn't know. I was just asking, to tag an account.
Yeah,
or
we
something.
want to shout that because I
Um,
think that's a really cool thing to put out
Yeah,
there.
put you guys on, whoever watches,
Yeah.
but like it can also just be said if you live near the area, anyone who's watching, just go to the White Side or Majestic or, I'm sure if
Check
you
out
go
their
there,
Facebook
they
page.
probably have you guys in their roster, right?
Yeah,
Or-
so like when I do shows at the Majestic, the programs and what's posted on the wall, I don't have a little bio like the actors do, right? But there's usually a group picture of the orchestra at one of the rehearsals, and they take a aerial photo of us, and then they've got all of our names listed. So it'll just say trombone, Cassie Nix-Wayne.
Oh, word.
So like we're in the program, so that's cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool, dude.
And
Hell
people
yeah.
like come over during intermission and like poke their head down in the pit and be like, "Hey guys, doing a great job."
That'd be me.
Yeah.
That'd be, what's up?
For My Fair Lady, the director specifically wanted the band to be on the stage because the music was such an integral part of the story. So yeah, my first musical, I was on the stage. I'm like, this is kind of nice, and but we had to wear black, for every show, just because we're in the background. We don't want to be distracting, of course. But down in the pit, we can definitely take some more liberties. There's like pit themes.
Pajamas.
There could be pajamas, but usually the themes are thought up and voted on by the group of pit musician orchestra, the pit orchestra, and. Like, for example, I filled in for the producers. So that was the fall musical. I wasn't slated, and picked to do that one just because we all rotate. People can't do all the musicals all the time. It's a big time commitment, really. I mean, we start for the Legally Blonde, we start mid-March, and then all the shows go through May. So it is like a ton of time. So anyways, so like in the producers, there's the song Keep It Gay. And so we had a night where it was Keep It Gay, and it was all like rainbow, pride like stuff. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
There's all these old women that he's scamming money from, right? And so it was like little old lady and little old man night. So we were wearing like gray wigs down in the in the pit and stuff. So
That's
we
cool.
have a lot of fun with it for sure. When you're in the pit, there's just more liberties because you're hidden.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome, man. Well, shit, dude. That's really cool. And again, I think it's awesome, like to know that just exists in our community. And, I think not to put it this way, but I feel like could be someone could look at it, this episode or whatever, and be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I can do that or something. And so I think again, it's valuable to talk about these things. And so, yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time, and this was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
It's
And,
something different,
And right. And you do so much other cool shit too that we could just have whole podcasts about itself. Like, I mean, we don't have to get into them now, but like, your work, what you do for the community besides the band. You've been a great guest, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's been super fun.
Yeah, we're at an hour and a half, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is
Okay, well, there's some things to cut out, I think, so.
Oh yeah. Is there anything you would like to mention, add, or any people you'd like to shout out or anything?
Shout out a couple people during, but I just want to, shout out to all the groups that I play with, and, they're just, again, super nice people, really talented. I look up to a lot of them. And, just want to say thank you for allowing me the space to grow and get back into it. And I hope that someday when, I get older, that I can do the same for somebody else and mentor, them
Yeah.
and give them the same type of experience. It's been really great.
Amen to that, dude. Well, shout out to all
Yeah.
those people. I also, before we close, I wanted to do this. I want to give a shout out to everybody listening. You yourself, and just anyone who's in the show. Tell your friends. Thank you. Subscribe, like, and maybe we'll post a video of one of your concerts or something if we're allowed to or whatever.
Yeah.
Jason. Do you have anything else to add?
I think it's really cool that you take an active what is it?
Role.
Yeah, you take an active role of being a part of the community and
Yeah.
being involved in that kind of thing. And a lot of people don't do that or don't realize that
They can.
You're a hustler, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck
And-
yeah.
yeah, being a part of that kind of thing and uplifting other people and also being open to that kind of thing, I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of people might not take that opportunity and miss out on a lot. And yeah.
Could I ask before we go? Like, we don't have to get into it,
Yeah.
but the lasagna.
Oh,
this isn't
yeah.
related to the band.
Let's talk about
but
lasagna.
I also
Yeah.
feel like maybe someone can hear this and
Yes.
it might be able to help somebody else. Maybe like I don't want to put too much work on your plate or whatever. But would you be okay to?
Yeah.
Talk about that?
Yeah, so I volunteer for a program called Lasagna Love. It is a nonprofit. It was started by a gal, I think, in Hawaii during COVID. She wanted to, give back to the community, but, there's all these restrictions, right? So she was like, what can I do, to help other people? So she started making lasagnas in her own home and delivering it to people in need. People in need for this program is defined as basically anything. There are no financial, requirements. There are no hardship. You don't have to prove a hardship or anything like that. It's just, hey man, I'm really busy. I just don't have time to make dinner, or, I'm taking care of my elderly parent or something, and I just don't have enough time to cook a home cooked meal. I've delivered to people that have just a lot of different hardships. But basically, the whole crux of it is that I'm able to make a lasagna, a homemade lasagna. That's the requirement. It has to be from scratch. You can't just
Cassie
go.
makes a good lasagna.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn good.
My friends at work call it casagna.
Yeah, dude. That's
Period.
awesome.
Yeah.
Clock that shit.
Yes.
Clock that shit.
Yes. But anyways, the requirement is that you just make it in your own home. You can't just go to Safeway and just buy a frozen lasagna. That's not the point of the that's not the point of the program. But you are spreading kindness. You're spreading love to somebody in need. And so basically I get, you sign up as a volunteer, you get a little sign in for a portal. You say how often you want to deliver, whether it's once a month, once a week, whatever. And you can take breaks. There's once you set a schedule, you don't have to, stick to it. You can turn it off, turn it on. And then you get matched. And then I text them. Usually people just text. That's fine. Sometimes I've had to call or email. But then you just basically confirm all their information. I'm cooking for 2 adults and 2 children. There's no dietary restrictions or allergies I need to be worried about. I'm delivering to this address. And then you just coordinate a time, right? And a day. And then I also ask my matches if they want it hot and ready to eat, or just in a pan, and I give them ready to bake. So then, you just deliver it, and then it's just no judgment. It's, it's also no contact. It's supposed to be no contact, for the safety of the person, right? There's been a couple of times where I've gone with, Jason's come with me, and, I'm like, I don't really like this, area, or, it's going to get dark quick or
I think
something.
that's totally fair.
Yeah, that's
You don't know them.
Yeah.
They
You
don't
never
know
know.
you.
Exactly. So it's supposed to be contactless, but anyways. And
What's
then
the program called? How do they reach out to you?
Lasagna Love. So that's what I was going to say. So whether you want to be a volunteer and cook for people, or whether you are in a hardship yourself or you want to request one, you just go to Lasagna Love. I think it's probably .org. But anyway, just type in Lasagna Love into Google and it'll come up. And then there's volunteer or request, and then you just fill it out, and then you get matched. The one thing I will say is that Corvallis is really blessed with a lot of volunteers. And so usually the Corvallis requests are pretty caught up. You can choose how far you want to travel. I have it set at 15 miles. So I'll go to Corvallis, Albany, and Philomath.
Right.
But anyways, it's a really great program. And I should have brought up the stats. I wasn't thinking about it, but I did get an email earlier today saying what my impact was for 2025. In 2025, I went hard. I went ham.
Bro, it was like every other.
I was
week you were
delivering
putting shit-
multiple
yeah.
lasagnas to like multiple cities, and I made 88 deliveries.
Holy moly.
I fed 300 people,
Holy moly.
and the estimated value is $3,000.
Wow.
But I just do it out of my own pocket because I care, and people are just in a space, right, where they just need help and they don't know how to ask, or they might be ashamed or whatever it is. So this is a good way for people to get help and remove that barrier of shame as well. So
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's seriously you provide a
That was beautiful,
that's
actually.
great.
That was fucking cool. that you
That's
said
great,
that.
man.
That was awesome.
Yeah, the lasagna love. That's you guys. You provide a great service for people. That's awesome. I didn't know it went that deep. That's crazy.
yeah.
Well,
It's really hard to ask for help.
It
and
is.
It's cool that
right.
there's no
it
judgment
is,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no judgment. There's absolutely no requirements or anything, to apply
yes.
for help. So it's just you're in need, you'll get matched.
Mhm.
That's it.
Period.
Yeah, well, I'm sure those people really appreciate you, and it's like like we said earlier, we could go on about all the shit you do for the community, but I really wanted to add that in here because I think it's cool, and
throw it out there,
So yeah, anything you want to add, dude?
The only thing I wanted to add, the only thing I wanted to add was actually just that
You didn't want to tell everybody you love your wife?
Oh, besides the fact I love my beautiful wife, I say that. I say that a lot. But no, I just wanted to mention though. I was so it's great you guys brought up because that was my one thing. Is I just want to say that there is a big need for volunteers for Lasagna Love. It's a great program, but when she started, there was a huge backlog to where she had to start. She didn't have to, but her being her, she started making sometimes like 4 or 5 lasagnas a week. Because some of the families are big, so she's got to make a couple lasagnas for people. But then because I help a little bit. I say we, but I help a little bit.
Help.
But yeah, it's like she started making so many lasagnas and traveling so far. And the problem is it's the smaller areas. People that are like out
Rural.
of town, the rural areas, they do not have people that are cooking for them. So if Cassie doesn't go out there, those
Who
people
will?
are waiting like 5+ months or something.
When they needed it then.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing is like a lot of these people, like when she first started, it was like after a friend had, they were fighting cancer and she was like using that as an example of like, what if someone's like sick and when her friend was sick, like as a group, they were making them dinner once a week. Like everyone was taking turns, and that is such a great thing.
Yes.
But in that time of need, or when someone's going through family grief and whatnot, it doesn't help them 5 months from now.
Right.
And so it's like, it means so much if you get someone food in those like first couple weeks of the turmoil.
Yeah.
Whereas like she's even had a couple people say, you know what, I'm fine now. I don't need the lasagna.
Give it to somebody else who needs
so
it.
she has
right
had
away.
a couple people
Mhm.
reject them because it
Yeah.
had been a months, and they're like, I'm in a
Better
better
spot
place
now.
now,
That's cool.
which is good on them. But it also is like,
I just made this fucking lasagna for you.
oh, no,
for
you
you.
make it before
You confirm
make it.
that before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
But
I'm just
so-
being funny.
It's just like, it's a shame that the program's there, but it's meant to support the people at the time.
It shouldn't be a
It
convenience
shouldn't be
thing.
like
Right.
5 months later.
Yes.
Where it's like she had to just start cooking like crazy to get caught up to where she's like, oh my God, now look at how many there are. This person's been waiting a month.
Yeah.
I'm like, remember when you started though? The list was going out 5 months. So
Yeah. I think
she did a lot.
I think the more you talk about it and the more you put it out there and
Yeah.
let people know, hey, I'm doing this,
Mhm.
the more some people will get involved for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important that you talk about it.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of the people, I assume a lot of the people, even though it could be a month later, it's still, I'm sure, needed. And,
Mhm.
who hates a free
Anything
lasagna?
helps, right?
Yeah.
Well, also it's
You know.
like even I don't know. Because I like mention it to people. Even like I'm like, hey, if you know anyone in need, like
Yeah.
go through this. But it's like then I just wanted this time to mention like we need volunteers.
Yes.
But also, it's like if you're to be hearing this right now, even if you don't use Lasagna Love, like it's just maybe inspiration to like look around your community and like what could you do to like just
Mhm.
it's I don't know. Sometimes I see someone where it's inspiring, where it's like, man, I want to go like set up a stand of free food or something and go feed some people. And I don't know.
Well, I just follow
end up
like
buying little
seeing your
Caesars.
Facebook,
Yeah.
Cassie, and
Hell
like your
yeah.
posts and stuff, and it's just like I think it's cool. Like I don't do anything like that, but it's just knowing like if it's not me, it's just knowing that someone else is out there doing that. I feel like it's better than nothing, and I think it's important that organizations like Lasagna Love are able like to, I guess, exist, because there's some people that would be like, oh fuck them, or what, not fuck
Do you
them,
guys
but
deliver
like
to people without addresses?
That's when she asked me to help.
like
Yeah.
how,
They
like
got
the
weird.
unhoused or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
So
Because
I-
that's a big problem with food stamps is you have to have a home address. So that's a big hurdle you have to overcome for something like that, which I assume is what you're talking about with the no judgment or whatever, a part of it at least.
Yes. Yeah. There's been a couple of matches that I've had where they have really kind of shaky situations.
Yes.
They're not, they're moving around, they're, transient. And so in those situations, I will try to pick a public place like a library in town or something like that, someplace with visibility, right? But then someplace that's easy for them to get to. So
Yeah.
transportation's not a barrier.
You want to
super
be
cool.
safe, but also
Exactly.
like accessible for them.
Yes.
Exactly.
Have you ever had any scary
It's the one that
encounters?
she
Okay.
like made
Does that
me
matter?
start coming.
Like, look, it doesn't matter, but like, I just want to
Yes,
know.
there is one.
Nothing bad happened.
Jason was like, "You never go to the second location. That's when people get murdered."
Like, I was just thinking of the murder podcast I listened to where the guy's always like starts screaming. He's like, never. If they invite you to a second location, say no. So he's like, I was just thinking, I was like, this guy I listen to all the time. He's always yelling. He's like, don't go to a second location. And then, yeah, we wait at the library for like 45 minutes. And then he was like, oh, actually, now I'm 5 miles outside of town. Go to the back of this property down this scary road. And it got real weird. Sorry, you were talking.
No, that's basically what happened is when that person requested, he was not in a home.
Yeah.
And so we had set it up and he didn't have great communication. Like I think his phone was being weird or something, right? And so I eventually, got a hold of him. We decided this was in Lebanon. So we went to the Lebanon library and then he wasn't there. And we waited for quite a bit of time. And I was trying to contact him saying like, I have your lasagna. And I'm pretty sure we also brought like utensils and stuff. Knowing that he probably didn't have a way to consume it. Right. So anyways, then he said, he finally got a hold of me and he was just like, oh yeah, outside of town, still Lebanon, but like outside of town at this property. And he said that he was taking care of this older woman, right? And then she was allowing him to stay on the property in exchange for taking care of her.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like that checks out, enough. And, but the thing is that this was, I'm pretty sure during like November, December or something, it's like getting dark outside
It's like we got
early.
there, it's like, it's
raining.
dark, it's raining. It's a
You have to protect
spooky
yourself, I
street.
understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
And if they're asking for help like that, I'm sure
Yeah.
they're not in the bed,
Well, also the person never came out.
They never
because they
came
were
out.
like, she was like, hey, because I have to, it was her first time having to meet someone in person because it's supposed to be no contact
Yes.
for everyone's safety and privacy. This is the first time she was going to be forced to like hand it to someone. So it's not the matter of them being like homeless or whatnot. It's just like she had to go meet someone. So she's like, hey, I just want to have a second person with me.
Yeah.
Which she's brought other friends to go do that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was just weird where it was like, the guy's like, yeah, I'm living in the pump house out back. So when you get, he's like, drive down this, take a turn here, go past that spooky gate, and then park behind the minivan behind the house and let me
Awfully
know.
specific.
And he's like,
It was
he's like,
specific.
I'll let you,
need you-
he's like, once you let me know, I'll
Yeah.
come find you. And we get there and we kept texting and calling and he just never came out. And then I even thought I saw the windows were like covered in sheets. And I thought I saw the corner move at one point, but I wasn't sure. And then I was like, is someone here or not? And we waited so long,
That
but he
sucks,
never
yeah.
came out. And then eventually we just set it on the porch and hoped nothing got to it. And then they never responded ever.
Yeah.
But I did go back. I actually got matched with that person a second time, like months and months later. And then he was still at that same location. But then he must have gotten enough things together where he had consistent good communicate, with his phone. And then he texted me saying, thank you so much. So,
yeah,
you never know.
You never know.
Yeah, you
What's
never know.
funny about that though is going back, we went in the middle of the day, and I drove when we got past the cow, because I was like, it's that same cow. I was like, oh my god, because we were joking about how I was like, you were gonna get like murdered here. I was like, I don't know, maybe he decided to hide because there was a second person. We're just joking. We keep gossiping about spooky things, but yeah, when we went back the second time, I was like, how foolish are we? If we get murdered, I was like, are we not the guilty ones where it's like, we escaped once, now we're going back.
You guys were the dumb white people that kept going.
But, it was that's just silliness. It's just a guy who has bad communication skills.
But like 99% of the time, it is like totally fine.
It's right. Agreed. I mean,
we joke about our neighbors being serial killers, so we're just suspicious about a few people.
You can't be too. Yeah, you got to be wary, man. Because it doesn't matter. It could be a rich guy, it could be a homeless guy. Somebody could kill you. You never fucking know. So
sorry, I shouldn't have derailed it in that direction.
No, you didn't derail it, dude.
Well, it's I want volunteers for the lasagna. I'm like, don't worry, this is just elaborate imagination.
No, I mean, I feel like if you're doing stuff like that, that's just how it is. And some people need help that are in unfortunate circumstances, and that might involve living in a field or a pump house, you know. But again, it's people, need help and don't know how to either do access it or how to, get food, or like you said, it's just about feeding people and just trying to, because that's a morale booster. Like I'm trying to imagine if I was that guy in the pump house and I had access to social media or online, and I could be like, oh, hey, this group could, give me something to eat. A lasagna, if you're by yourself, that could last you 2 days.
It's hearty.
Yeah, if you have a way to store it or whatever. And so I think that's, if someone saw that
up with locally made garlic bread from the farmers market.
Oh yeah, God, so shout out to the folks at the farmers market.
Is it Totem?
Totem Farm. For
shout out Totem Farms. Dude.
Totem Farm.
That's some good
Jesse.
garlic bread.
No, that's not the garlic bread. That's the meat.
Whoops, sorry, I messed up.
That's the meat. Shout out to Jessie. She's great.
If any of you guys that were shouting out want to come on the show, feel free to ask.
Yeah. And then the garlic bread is from Cameron Ridge Farms. They're in Jefferson. So they're really great.
They come all the way from They come all the way from Jefferson to be a part of the Corvallis Farmers Market?
Every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
That's cool.
Yeah. So right now the market's at the fairgrounds, and then it'll move downtown.
Oh, it
still goes on during the winter. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that.
They actually
it stopped.
They upgraded it. They extended the roof line way further.
Yeah.
No shit.
Oh, shit.
So it covers more.
You'll see me there every Saturday morning,
Girl,
9 a.m.
Do you want to go tomorrow?
I go every
Actually,
Saturday.
I can't tomorrow. I have to do homework tomorrow. Sorry.
So you're supposed to be on my computer, but well, we're almost at 2 hours. But without final pieces, thank you for showing up and thinking that, taking the time. I know you guys are both busy. You guys got big things going on, so congratulations. And it's just, thank you for coming through and hanging out and running the shit.
Sure.
Anytime,
bud.
I'm going to make you be here. Just kidding.
Unless you're fucking paying me.
I wish though that you guys could have been in our house for the 2 months of her just playing on loop. It's Springtime for Hitler.
Wait.
Yeah.
What?
The producers, incredible movie.
That should be your outro,
live,
Jack.
Great.
On this one, that should be your outro.
Wait, what's it called?
Gay?
Springtime for Hitler from the producers.
Yeah, so they're playing that song, and then the other song is Keep It Gay, Keep It Gay, Keep It Gay. They're trying to make the worst show of all time. They're trying to make a show
Gay
that
Hitler.
will only lose money.
producers.
So they're like, we need gay
That's a band?
Hitler.
It's a musical.
Oh, it's a musical.
Okay.
And I every time I come home, it's just spring.
gay.
It's springtime for Hitler. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I walking into? I was like,
I'll
is
have to
this
find-
appropriate?
It's slow torture.
Is this okay?
I'll have to
Well,
find
I'm
a
like,
copyright-free version
Yeah.
to
I
put
guess
in.
it's okay if you're making fun of it. But yeah, I don't know. I just kept walking in. I'm like, what is playing in my
I
house
read
right
Mein
now?
Kampf recently, and
Yeah. I don't know.
On that note,
We're ending.
all right.
Yo, Will
Cassie
Ferrell's in
again.
the movie.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
You're
Jason.
welcome.
Thank you, Maddie. Thank you. This is the Hella Dank Podcast, episode 32, I think. We'll see you guys Monday, the 17th, I think, is when this comes out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Check out Lasagna Loves. Check out Cassie or the Corvallis band, the Majestic Theater. Yeah, we outie. Peace.
Bye.